Hi and welcome back to VR Puppet Builds. Today I want to show you how I've put hair on these Indigenous girl puppets. Okay, I'll just show you quickly. I think it measures roughly around, I think it was about 17 inches. That's 17 inches there. So that's roughly how big the head size is that I want to actually cover. Alright, so what I'm doing is I've made these wool wigs, but I've done it in 3 different sections. The fringe, or what you call in America the bangs, a back section, and then another larger section that covers those two. What I want to do is lay the fringe down first, and I've got, it looks too long around when you first look at it, but what I want to do is fold this back on itself. Okay, so bring it round here and then pop a pin in. Do the same with this one. Put a pin in here and then fold that extra piece down. Alright, so that's the front fringe section pinned on. So don't worry about trying to fiddle with this for now. Alright, so the back section is a longer piece, and when I fold this in half, it's going to cover this back part of the puppet's head and not show as much skin, because that's the thing I don't like with hair, especially the wool hair, that if you don't do it thick enough you see all the skin underneath. Alright, so I'm just going to fold this in half, and that halfway mark will get pinned in at the back there, right, and then bring each of these sections up like this and put a pin in there, and that's going to give me a good first sort of coat of cut or coverage of hair on that puppet. So if you can see there, it's already got a good covering of hair, but I want to finish it off with a big piece. So to make the fringe of my puppet wig, I've made a template up that measures 10 by 6 inches, and I've just cut a couple of little notches in here just to put my wool in so that it catches, doesn't go anywhere to start off. Okay, and then basically all you're going to do is wind and then push it down right to the edge and keep winding. Okay, once you've wound on the width that you like, I've just got some sticky tape, and because I need to secure this to put it through the sewing machine, so I've stuck some sticky tape on the end of a ruler. With the sticky side up, I'm going to thread my ruler in underneath, just bow it and thread it underneath all that wool. And I want to just close it up over the wool. This is just going to help me to sew it. Alright, and another piece over there like that. You can see that in the light. And do the same on the back. Alright, so once you've got that tape on front and back, you need to clip off the other side of the wool. These ideas aren't mine. I've just looked through the internet and found how people make like doll wigs and stuff like that, and I'm just showing you what's working for me. Alright, so once we take that off the cardboard template, it's going to look like this. Alright, and we need to pop over to the sewing machine and sew down this centre line. Alright, I have my sewing machine on zigzag, and I'm just going to place that in there, and away we go. And I like to go back the same way just to reinforce it. Alright, once that's off the machine, you need to put your scissors just in under the tape, only grabbing the tape, and remove that. Okay, and then flip it over so that you've got that centre line then coming up the centre, so it's flipped in half, and then lay this back in your machine and sew down that folded edge. So the back part of the wig you'll make exactly the same as the bangs but longer, okay, like I said, using the length of the template. So go ahead and do that. So then you'll have the two parts, the front and the back, done, and this last one is the main one that goes over the whole lot with the centre part. Alright, so what you need to do is grab your wool again. So just remember, I haven't showed you here how to make the back wig, because it's the same as the fringe or the front bangs, but just longer, using the length of your card. Alright, so to make the main part of the wig that you see with the part, I'm using the whole length of this 10 by 6 card, and I'm going to fill up the whole width of it. When I did the fringe, I did a little bit too much on the last one, but you only want to wind about 4 to 5 inches, okay? And the back part of the wig, you only want to wind on about 3 inches, but make that a thick 3 inches and a thick 4 to 5 inches. So I've wound on the whole width of my template here for the main wig, and you do the same as the other one. And for this main part of the wig, I've cut a little piece of polar fleece, and when I put that on the machine, I'm going to sew that down. So we're sewing the main part of the wig. I'm going to lay my polar fleece down first and put it in the machine and just start doing zigzag. When I get to the end, I'm going to flip it around and reinforce it and sew it back the same way. Just carefully remove that tape so you don't clip any hair. Alright, once you've placed your wig on and you're happy where it's sitting, just pin it in place and thread up a needle and thread and start to sew your wig on. Alright, we've got our back section here, so we'll pin that down right in the middle there. And we'll take our last piece, the biggest piece that we've sewed the pole fleece to, and this is, just find where we want her fringe to go, or part, and I want to lay that in there. Just tucking that just under so the pole fleece doesn't show. Let's put a pin in there, and then making this come even over the head so it sits the same. And I'll just pop a pin in there. Now, this top section's a little bit trickier to sew on, but what I found is if I flick over the hair to expose the polar fleece, and that's what I want to catch onto on this puppet. Okay, so you can see where that line of polar fleece is, and just part that hair there that's already been sewn on. So I want to sew down here. I might actually start at the back and work my way up, it might be easier. You can go back down that other side. Oop, there's another pin. You can go back down that other side if you like with the pole fleece, but I find just sewing one edge is enough. So to just trim up and just fine detail this wig, what I'm going to do is find just some little spots where I want to just anchor down. So I've got some thread that's the same colour. I had to have a look in my embroidery box as this hair, because I want to just catch that onto the polar fleece and just tie that in a knot. So I'm just going to do a knot here and just anchor that hair down. That's going to just stop it from jiggling a lot and, you know, just getting out of whack. Just clip that off, and when you put that hair over, you can see that most of that's anchored there, and some of it's not, just to give that real effect. Her fringe, what I want to do on this one is just give her a bit of a haircut. What I might do then is go over and just anchor this little place in here too. Alright, and the back of her hair, you can you could leave it long like this, or you could just trim that straight.